Landlords now losing apartment buildings. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, and rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Buckle up, strap in, hold on to your hats and your glasses as I blow the lid off the U.S. economy and the U.S. housing market. Why, you ask? Well, of course, I'm going to tell you, tied together. If we lose one, we lose them both, and they're both under attack as we speak. If you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe right away. Never been a more important time in history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people. Iron will sharpen iron. We're going to sharpen some iron, my friends. Raise awareness, ring the bell, sound the alarm, let people know the biggest artificial real estate bubble ever produced in human history might not sustain itself. Every time we've had a real estate boom, it's always been followed by a bust. We're seeing the fractures now display themselves very clearly. Bank failure, U.S. debt never seen before high, U.S. savings never seen before low, runaway inflation in a risen interest rate environment, jobs being evaporated, and as soon as the job loss catches up to everything else, disaster. This was all market manipulated. Jobs are going to take a while, but they're being ushered out. And it's the white-collar wage earner. But here's one of the stimulus measures, as we had stimulus measures and stimulus programs and stimulus cash, money sent to every doorstep in America. It was all targeted stimulus, but we all know we overheated everything and put too much money in the system, and now we're about ready to default our own debts here in America as a result. But it gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it. One of the stimulus measures was eviction bans. Well, it's now starting to have its blowback because initially eviction bans, hey, we need to flatten the curve in a couple of weeks when we'll be right back open again, and it should be relatively painless. Okay, well, years later, the can got kicked down the road. Years, we delayed the inevitable. So anybody minimizing the risk of some potential, blowback in the real estate market, I have to politely disagree. This is, if there was ever a time it could provide blowback, you are in it right now. So landlords now are finally able to move forward with their evictions. Unfortunately, they're getting tied up in court. We're clogging the court system now with these evictions. Lawyers are going out and targeting tenants being evicted and offering to represent them and taking landlords to court, but it gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it. This is insane. I can't even believe the word buckle up and strap in. Hold on to your hats and your glasses. 50% of all evictions now are not only going to court, they're ending up in a jury trial. You could be going to court facing a jury trial to get rid of a tenant, and it gets better again or worse. Tenants are trashing the buildings, and these buildings, these apartment complexes that had non-paying tenants, guess what? It starts with one, and then he decides, and then she decides, and then they decide, and then they decide. Next thing you know, the whole place is non-paying tenants, because it's herd mentality. If you see a bunch of people not paying their rent and they're eating Uber Eats and looking like they're having a great time, you're going to be tempted to do the same. That's what happened. Very short-sighted, very, very dangerous. And the lawyers, shame on you for taking these people to court to just try to juice a landlord for a few bucks before he goes down with the Titanic. This is having massive blowback. I saw a boarded up building in my own city where you never see this. I saw it. The dust is starting to settle from eviction bans. Let's jump out, take a look at that building. Then we're going to meet back here and wrap this one up. Let's get started. All right, friends, buckle up, strap in, board up your windows and lock your doors. Maybe even put on a face mask or two if you have one. It appears that the biggest artificially created real estate bubble ever witnessed in human history with no organic growth might not be able to sustain itself. I believe we're looking at here in my own backyard, an apartment building that's boarded up. Let me just tell you, in this town, you never see this. Even in a regular housing market, this thing has gone sideways in a big way. This was a direct result of a stimulus measure called eviction bans. But it gets better or worse, depending on how you're looking at it. If you own this building and you were finally able to get your tenants evicted, you might be ending up in jury trial, as over 50% of all eviction filings in the United States are ending up in, wait for it, a jury trial. This is absolutely bonkers. But this is a direct result of stimulus and eviction bans, and now we're, in fact, paying the piper, and the dust is settling from kicking the can too far down the road. Everything has gone completely sideways with this real estate market. Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. So there you go. An empty apartment building boarded up. Listen, I remember that apartment building. It was full of tenants before the crisis. You would never have one empty unit in that area. Now you're getting whole buildings evaporated. And let me just tell you, friends, this is a direct result of the crisis. The market manipulation, stimulus measures, stimulus programs, and stimulus money is now, the dust is starting. We did not need this. Anybody thinking that this is just, oh no, there's nothing to see here. Everything's fine until it's not. But the realities are this, friends, it's becoming very sticky out there. Investors, we've talked about BlackRock now suspending 90% of all their purchasing. In fact, they're selling off homes. That's a big warning sign. They've basically, in all intents and purposes, the only reason they're buying 10% of the volume they were is because they have investors that expect them to. They're trying to have some movement. You can't just be frozen in place. Or the investors are going to do, they're going to do basically runs on them. They're going to say, we want our money. It's already happening. That's why they've suspended buying and they're selling. BlackRock, we were all worried about BlackRock's going to come in and buy it all. No, they're not. They drank the stimulus Kool-Aid themselves. They were guilty of it probably more than anybody else. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding the biggest artificially created real estate bubble in history is probably not going to sustain itself. Too many warning signs now to agree. Anybody telling you no crash risk here probably wants to sell you a house. Probably needs to sell you a house because they base their cost of living on euphoric stimulus income. They're in big trouble right now, hanging on by their fingernails. U.S. debt at an all-time high. U.S. savings at an all-time low. That's some of your realtors and people that work in the industry out there right now. It is panic time. Make no mistake about it. I know there's a lot of areas. I'm sitting in one today where you can still get on and off market pretty easily if you price right. But we're seeing the fractures now from stimulus, targeted stimulus. And one of those was eviction bans. I showed you blowback of that today. This is going to continue to migrate around, and I'm going to blow the lid off it every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love the next video on your screen. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.